Hello viewers, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Emeka, the Chief Priest, also known as Mazi Chukwemeka. On this channel, I discuss spiritual tips and help people live a spiritual active life. If you're watching me for the first time, please don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel. I'm waiting on you. Subscribe to this channel. On this channel, we discuss spiritual things. We help you elevate your spiritual consciousness. You're welcome. And I give you a money back guarantee that everything that you're doing on this channel will be very beneficial to you in the long run. Here we teach spiritual tips and we help people live a spiritual active life. Today I want to talk about ancestral veneration. So many people have had misconstrued information about ancestors or their ancestors. So many people have been told to bind and cast their ancestors. So many people have been told to pray against their ancestors. And I don't blame those people because they are actually ignorant of how things work. They don't understand what ancestral veneration is all about. So many people have been seeing ancestral veneration as voodoo or diabolical practice. I don't blame those people because what you don't know is only a mystery to only you, not to everybody. So, knowing something is knowledge, and knowledge is power. When you break free from ignorance, you'll be able to understand. You'll be able to understand this life. I know life is a mysterious phenomenon, but as time goes on, things will be taking shape, and you understand why these things are happening. So, back to the topic about ancestral veneration. Ancestral veneration is very, very important in the life of every seeker. So many of you are living in distant lands. You're living in foreign lands, and you're doing well. But as you're doing well, do not forget home. Do not forget where you came from. You are like a football player that is on a transfer loan. You are like a football player that is playing an international club. No matter how many clubs you played, do not forget your national team, because a good player will always play for his national team. And playing for your national team means you are representing home perfectly. And there's an adage, an African proverb that says charity begins at home. Our Igbo people will say, it is the firewood that is gotten from your hometown that can cook your home meals properly. So that is why I'm encouraging every spiritual seeker and every African person to take African veneration seriously. It's not about voodoo, it's not about charms making, it's not about blood money or whatever. It's about being in an alignment with your spiritual forces. Let me say this, I stand to be corrected. There's no person in the world that will always leave their ancestors behind, whether they are in a foreign land. Even foreigners, when they come to their own land, they respect their ancestors. And who are your ancestors? Your ancestors are your forebears, people that came into this world before you. And you cannot tell me that your ancestors, because when we're talking about ancestors, we're talking about your ancestral spirit from your maternal side and from your paternal side. So they're a combination, because it takes two people to form a family, a man and a woman. And when these two people are forming, the woman that is coming as a wife have her ancestral spirit from her father's side and from her mother's side. The same thing with the man, his own ancestral spirit from his mother's side and from his father's side. So when we're talking about ancestors, we're not talking about only your grandparents from your father's side or from your mother's side. We're talking about a combination of ancestral spirits from your great-grandfather or your great-grandmother. Both from, it's a combination. There are so many of them. They are not looking at only two people. And you cannot even remember them all, except when you ask the ones that are alive, if they can remember the names of their, like if you're asking your mother the name of her father and the name of the mother that gave birth to her father. Can you see how we're going far now? And if you're asking your father have a mother. Your father have a mother, and the person that gave birth to your mother's father. Can you see how far it is going? So when we talk about ancestral spirit, we are talking about combination of so many forces from maternal, like a family tree. So you cannot tell me that in every of these people that all of them are bad. There are people that lived a good life, that they live the life of a saint, that their life is worthy of emulation. So that's what we mean by ancestors. We don't talk about ancestors because you saw your grandfather and died. Oh no. Who is the person that gave birth to your grandfather? Who is the mother of your grandfather's that your grandfather, your great grandfather's gave birth, married? Do you understand? So if you start going into this, you will discover that you are going to have a long family tree. Do you understand? A long family tree. And this family tree will consist of maternal and paternal. So you cannot tell me that all of these people are negative. They are all bad people. There must be somebody good among them. So that person that is good, when we're talking about the ancestral veneration, this is where you're going to pick the ones that are going to help you. So many people are dying prematurely today because they have abandoned their ancestral spirits. So many people are involved in ghastly motor accidents because they've abandoned their ancestral spirit. So many people are involved in crimes that they had nothing to do about. They were implicated or they were impersonated, and they got themselves involved in court cases that had nothing to do with them. So many people are not enjoying their life today. They are doing some jobs that is not feeding them, that is not giving them the kind of money that they want. They keep feeding from hand to mouth because of abandonment of ancestral spirits. And why are we talking extensively on this topic is because it is said that in the spiritual books is saying that he who remembers his ancestors, his days will be long, and he's going to live, he or she is going to live a very productive life. Why? Because your ancestors didn't spill the seed. They retained the seed, and that is why you are alive today. And if you bring a mirror and look at the mirror and you are seeing yourself in the mirror, you are seeing a formation of ancestors that are taking place quite a long time. It's just like a transformation of so many people that formed you today. So if one of them spilled that seed and said, I'm not going to form a child, you yourself today wouldn't be alive. So it's because of they retained the seed by building a life, a child with it. So you today, I give you that maybe in the next 100 years you will not be alive. I give you a guarantee on that in the next 100 years you are not going to be alive. And it is expected that the people that you are bringing into this life will speak good about you. They are going to say bona fidely that their father or their grandfather or their great-grandfather lived a life worthy of emulation. That you should intercede for them in the land of the underworld. Because we have two worlds, the physical world and the underworld. And spirits are the ones living in the underworld. And the two worlds are working concurrently. The two worlds are working concurrently. Forget about, they are coming to tell us about heaven and hell. These things are not part of African culture. It has nothing to do with African spirituality. In African spirituality, we have two worlds that are working concurrently at the same time. Your ancestors are living in the underworld because it's a world that is better, suitable for them. But in split seconds, they are always coming to the physical world to assist you when you call upon them. So if you don't call upon them, they don't care about you. Why? Because they don't want to. The reason why it happens that way is because they don't want to be interfering in your activities. And it's like a man that bought a car. If you're not inside the car will not, you can't be driven in the car. You can't buy a car and keep the car in the garage and the car will start driving you around until the day you open the door of the car and enter your car. Either you are driven by the driver or you're driving by yourself. So that is how it is. If you don't call upon them, they will remain where they are. But it's good of you to call upon them so that whatever they're doing, they will assist you. So that anything untimely death, anything shameful death, anything that has to do with you being cut off, anything that has to do with ghastly motor accident, anything to do with stillbirth, anything that will do with that will cause great harm as a result of abortion done in the past. That each time you commit abortion, your ancestors are actually angry with you because you are cutting life short. They are the ones that wants to make it easier for you. But each time you engage in any of these things that I mentioned, they are going to cut you off in no distant time. So it's expected of you to always venerate your ancestors. And how do you do this? Remember in the holy books where it is said that Abraham offered animal sacrifice to seal his covenant with God Almighty. And I think that's the same thing that our Muslim brothers are practicing today, that whenever they are doing their religious rites, they offer ram sacrifices to God Almighty to renew that covenant that Abraham and Moses made with God Almighty. So the same thing is applicable to African spirituality, or what I call it in Igbo spirituality, that once in a while you should kill a ram for your ancestors. Once in a while you should kill any animal and use the blood to renew your covenant, or renew the covenant that your ancestors made with the land, that this land you're marching upon should be fruitful, should be productive for you, that wherever you're going, your own ancestors must align with the ancestors of that land to help you to be productive. The reason why you are suffering where you are today is because you don't want to take this spiritual work seriously. The day you take it serious, the day things will start changing for you. You are not supposed to be living from hand to mouth. Somebody was asking me one time, say, what is this? What's your ancestors? What have they done for you so far? That same week, I got an alert that scared me. That same week, I got an alert in my phone that scared me. So that is why I'm telling people, take this spiritual thing seriously, and they will take you serious. They will also be serious with you. So if you are living in a distant land and you cannot perform any of these spiritual or religious rites, all you need to do is to give it to a third party. I can serve as a third party because that's my work. As a spiritualist, I can intercede on people's behalf. And I tell you that when it comes to spiritual things, distance is not a barrier. Sometimes we don't even need a picture. What we need is your full names. When I use your full names, wherever you are, it will definitely get to you, because that's my line, that's my calling as a spiritualist. So distance is not a barrier. So if you don't have the space and the time to go about doing this, killing ram, maybe your environment it's not permissible for you to kill a ram or to spill blood. You living in distant land, you can give it to third parties like us to do it on your behalf. You can give it to third parties like us. Once we offer these animal sacrifices and we call upon your name, it will definitely get to wherever you are. It will definitely get to you wherever you are. So you can give a token, either $50, $100, any amount that you feel like is okay to go about this. You can give maybe $100, $200, $500, any amount you know that is okay to go about this. You can send in that money for your ancestral veneration, and we'll do it. We'll tell you how we're going to do it, and we'll give you the videos and everything that as we're doing it, so that you'll be able to see how it was done. The one will go to the river, we'll go to the river and offer sacrifice to water goddess. The one we'll offer on the land, we'll do a video on it. The one we'll offer on the road, anything we're doing, we'll make sure you're going to get a feedback from us. So that is how it is done. So I also want to encourage everyone, if you're an African living in the diaspora, make sure your money comes back home. We have so many platforms that you can use in sending money home. We have so many platforms. You can use World Remit, you can use Western Union money transfer, you can use MoneyGram. There are so many money agents or transfer agents that you can use to send monies from abroad back to Africa. And you can use these monies to help you run some spiritual services. So I give you a money back guarantee that whatever work we're doing for you, you must definitely see changes. So don't take these things for granted. So please, if you're watching this video and you find it interesting, put your hand on the share button and make it go viral. Because each time you do this, somebody else that have not watched this video will definitely watch it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, this is the right time to subscribe to my channel. And you can also like a video, and I also enjoy when people make a comment. On the comment section, you can drop any comment to encourage us to do more. Anyway we're not doing it well, we can also make corrections. So thanks for stopping by. And please, if you have any question concerning what you've watched, or you want us to do Alpha consultation for you, I run Alpha consultation services. In Alpha consultation, we'll be able to unravel or unearth the mysteries behind any travel we are going through. So if you have any question or you want to do Alpha consultation, chat me on this WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is 09040113281. Thanks for stopping by.